Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Harmony House. A very warm welcome, and welcome to this evening's program, I Know How to Live and I Know How to Die, with Dadi Janki, the administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University, and she's going to be talking to us in a little. So I'd like to welcome you all for being here tonight with us, and we have one or two special guests who I'd like to welcome. And they are Councillor Ted Cassidy, who we'll be hearing from, and also Baroness Verma, who we'll be hearing from too, and some other guests, Resham Singh Sandhu and Councillor Manjula Sood, and also Maganbhai Patel, who I understand is with us from the Gujarat Hindu Association. And I'd like to welcome each and every one of you, because each one of you is a VIP for us and for coming tonight. Thank you. Is that a bit better? Fewer crackles. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's begin with some house rules. And the first thing is that no fire drill is expected this evening. So if you hear the alarm go, it may be the real thing. So, but don't worry, the ushers will guide you to where you need to go outside in the car park. The second house rule to remind you of is to ask you, is anyone expecting an urgent phone call this evening? No? I'm very glad to hear that. In that case, we can all turn off our phones, and we kindly request you to do that. And also, you won't be needing them for anything at all, because we'd also request you not to take any photographs or filming of the event. It is already being filmed and webcast, and you'll be able to catch it up later if you miss anything. So there is some filming and photography going on, and if you don't wish to be filmed, perhaps you'd like to go to the edges out of the range of the camera. Thank you. Is there anyone who's new here, new to the Brahma Kumaris, new to Harmony House, who's come for the first time? Please put up your hands so that we can give you a special welcome. Especially you are welcome. And we hope this won't be your last visit. We hope you'll come again. And you may like to know a little bit about the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University. It has been going, it's a non-governmental organization with its headquarters in Rajasthan, and it's been going since 1936. It has now 8,500 other centers, not all as grand and beautiful as this, but different ones in different parts of the world, in over 100 countries. And its basis is on the intrinsic goodness of all of us. And the teachings are to share methods of meditation so that we can bring that intrinsic goodness that we have, our values, our power, our spirituality into daily life. And there are lots of leaflets and things outside that you can find out more about the organization if you'd like to. So before we begin our program, I'd like to invite a couple of our guests to come up and say hello to you. First of all, Councillor Ted Cassidy, would you come and join us? Welcome. Just there would be lovely. They're going to bring you a mic of your own. Right. Welcome, Councillor Ted Cassidy. And he has served the people of Leicester since arriving in the city in 1983. And he's represented various places, including the Fosse Ward and Saffron Ward. And he's held a number of senior roles in council. He's also a trustee of our good neighbours, the National Space Centre. And he will endear himself to many of you when you know that he has been a season ticket holder of Leicester City for over 20 years. So I can see the joint congratulations and commiserations in those who are here tonight. And in fact, he has some special news and special congratulations, because on Wednesday of this week, he was appointed as Lord Mayor of Leicester. He's in fact not in his official role here tonight. You can see he doesn't have his chain on. He's going out to have it made in his size, I think. And he's here instead as a very good friend of the Brahma Kumaris. So please, Ted, will you...
Davina, I'm delighted to be here once again. I love the Brahma Kumaris. I went to your previous house in Herbert Avenue, and I found it a very spiritual place, a bit like a convent or a friary, because there were men there as well. But it was a beautiful place. Now, what you've got here is just fantastic, and the Brahma Kumaris offer so much to this city. We're a city of diversity, but we're a city of harmony, and I think that's one of the Brahma Kumaris' watchwords: harmony and peace. And you provide a spiritual leadership and contribution to this city. I understand you've been here in Leicester since 1973, so you're well embedded in the life of the city. Ladies and gentlemen, children and young people, I see. I'm one of your friends, so I'm not a brother or sister, I don't think, but I'm certainly one of your friends. I was delighted to be elected Lord Mayor this last week, and it's something. I think it's the the longest-serving councillor at that time who hasn't been Lord Mayor, and we've got a previous Lord Mayor sitting there who's now the High Bailiff, Councillor Manjula Sood. So and other councillors here as well. So Councillor Rita Patel. I can't see who else is here, but so I'm one of several here tonight. As Lord Mayor, I'm the first citizen, which is really very nice. And hello, Daddy. So I have a theme for the year, which I think will fit closely with your view of the world, perhaps. My theme for the year is going to be the mental, emotional health and well-being of children and young people. And I will be raising money for organisations that work in that area, but I also feel that we need to promote those issues among people, because people don't understand necessarily or acknowledge the needs of children and young people and their mental health. We're not talking about mental illness particularly, we're talking about their health and well-being. And what the work that we'll be doing with our two charities is raising the confidence and self-esteem of children and young people, so they have some resilience to deal with the pressures they're under in life. So I wish you all the very best. I'm so honoured to be here with you in the presence of Dadi Janki today, and I will be listening with great ears. Thank you very much, Davina.
Thank you, Councillor Cassidy. Good luck with your time in office and enjoy the evening. Thank you. Just if you leave it on the chair, that's perfect. Thank you. And it's my pleasure now to invite Baroness Verma to come up and join us. Please do. Yes, that's fine. Welcome, come here and there. You are most welcome, Baroness Verma. Baroness Verma was appointed Parliamentary Undersecretary of State at the Department of International Development just earlier on this month, I believe. A week ago. You see, we have all the latest and greatest news. She's also a member of the House of Lords and a spokesman for the Cabinet Office on internal development, women equalities and business innovation and skills. So many sides to her interests. We have her here tonight because she's a good friend of the Brahma Kumaris, and she did us the honor of opening up Harmony House. She came to our opening ceremony, and we are very grateful for her continuing support and friendship.
Om Shanti. Dadi, friends, brothers and sisters, and Ted, congratulations on being our Lord Mayor. It is always a pleasure to be here, Davina, because when I opened this Harmony House, it really did become a landmark for our city. And it does draw, and I'm really pleased, it draws so many people because of the key messages that Harmony House presents. And I have been a great fan of Dadi. Dadi, in her wonderful years, is able to demonstrate that it doesn't matter what age you are, you can still have an impact wherever you are. And I would like to say that from my part, that whatever the Brahma Kumaris in their messaging across the world are doing, it actually activates people to look inwards at themselves to see what little bit that they can contribute to the wider message. Peace and harmony is actually so simple when you look at it in its pure form, but it's really very, very difficult when you try to actually demonstrate how to do it. And so for many of us, when we come here and collectively listen to Dadi, listen to the messages, not just of Dadi, but of all the people that are in the Brahma Kumari movement, it really does enable us, those of us who have to be outside, trying to shape the world and the way it's going to demonstrate its commitment to peace and harmony. This is a real good reflection, and it does give me an opportunity to sometimes sit back and actually reflect on what I'm doing. And I think that for me is key. And I do thank very much the brothers and sisters, my friends within the Brahma Kumaris, and particularly to Dadi, who sets an example to us all, that you can start your life and see it all the way through, just showering us all with messages of peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And before we begin our program proper, I would like to invite Neville Hodgkinson. And he is going to be interviewing Dadi in a while. But before that, we have a surprise visitor who arrived with us this afternoon, Sister Denise, who jets around all over the world, and she happened to have landed in Leicester just about half an hour ago. So we're delighted to invite Neville to have some words with Sister Denise and Sister Denise. Om Shanti and welcome.
Well, good evening, everybody, and many thanks to Baroness Verma and the Lord Mayor for the beautiful words of introduction that they gave. Absolutely relevant to tonight's session with Dadi, how we should live in ways that will really, really work and make us happy when we finally leave. And Denise is a most extraordinary gift to us tonight, because she was actually the very first non-Indian BK student outside India. Am I right? That was it, wasn't it? And 40 years back that you became on this spiritual path?
Yep.
1974? 74. Just when Dadi Janki first came out of India. And Dadi showed extraordinary courage at that time too, because she came with nothing other than what she had in that beautiful head of hers. She slept on a door to begin with. That was the kind of circumstances she was in. It was a poor little house in a poor part of London. And from there, with the inspiration that she provided, she was really the vehicle or the channel whereby the Brahma Kumaris spread their message right across the world, to the point that you heard from Davina just now, with buildings like this, actually quite a lot of buildings like this in different parts of the world, as well as many thousands of smaller centres. But Denise is, from what I've heard, Denise, you rolled up, I mean, here you are today in the white sari, 40 years on, but I think you've been wearing that for a pretty good number of decades, but you rolled up at this little house in Tennyson Road where Dadi was. As I might have an exaggerated journalist's picture, but I've got an impression that you were in leathers, you were a biker, and you were in hot pants and you were smoking when you knocked at the door. Is that right?
Well, no, I used a motorcycle for transport because the parking was always horrible, but I wasn't actually a biker.
Right.
And if you don't wear a leather jacket and you fall off your bike, you will be badly injured.
Okay.
So there are studs on there for sliding on the road in case.
And how about the cigarettes?
Well, Dadi said to me, I won't meet her because she's so smelly. So, Janki Ben, first thing she said to me is, you must give up cigarettes. So I said yes, and gave them up then and there. And then, every day of the course, I was asked to give up something else. And I said yes to all of it, and I was able to pursue that and really change my lifestyle to the lifestyle of a Brahma Kumari. And I felt, these are my people. And so to live, I saw two Brahma Kumaris. One is Dadi Janki, one is Janki Ben. So to be a Brahma Kumari means you have to be like Dadi and Janki. There wasn't any other possibility.
Right.
And then there was another sister, Shashi Ben, who was also in the white sari, and she would pick me up sometimes from where I was staying, because I would come, for the morning class and the evening class. And in those days, Dadi was explaining incredibly deep spiritual knowledge, which I just feasted on.
Was it that attracted you most, would you say, the spiritual knowledge, or was there something in the being of Dadi and Janki that also attracted you?
No, well, you see, Janki Ben gave me the course. And on my first day of the course, I thought, I have met the first intelligent human being. Everybody else, I was really thinking about these things for a long time. And nobody would answer any of my questions. But Janki Ben laid it out. And then, on the third day, she said, I'm going to introduce you to a yogi. And that was Dadi. And, the thing is, while I was doing the course, Dadi was in the next room, and she was meditating. This sort of tsunami of vibrations of... it wasn't vibrations of peace, it was spiritual vibrations. And I remember being very clear that, the external look of 98 Tennyson Road at that time was very strange for me. It wasn't my what I was used to. And I said to myself, well, that doesn't matter because the vibrations are everything. And so this beautiful vibrations which spoke to me that this is it, And then the knowledge, yes. And then all of the lifestyle changes, yes. Absolutely logical, absolutely right. So in tonight's title, I Know How to Live, I think I didn't know how to live at all. And then Dadi's speciality, she used this expression, to make your life. You see? And that's really what happens here, is we're taught how to make our lives so that your thoughts, your words, your actions, what you do, how you do it, all of it is designed to bring you to a state of being evolved, to create fortune, good relationships, to have a balanced life. We talk about the balance of, spiritual knowledge and yoga, the balance of service and meditation. Everything has to be in equilibrium because then it's sustainable. And so, although the journey of life is not a motorway, it's very up and down, but when you have this teaching and the lifestyle, the disciplines, I used to go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, and now it was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, yeah, that's really good. I can do that. And, you learn how to be soul conscious, and you learn how to be communing with God, the Supreme Being. I think probably the most subtle thing of all is what we call the knowledge of the drama. All the world's a stage and we're all actors in it, and there is this, this play going on, which we're all part of, and you have to understand it.
That's a really beautiful introduction to the evening. And finally, could you tell us, what was there anything that you saw in Dadi? She had just come from India. She was already around 60. Was there anything you saw then in her that could have given you an idea that these ideas were going to travel right across the world in the way that they have? In Dadi, in particular.
Well,
the way she was doing
from Dadi, I could always see this huge searchlight in her forehead, and so I'm a relatively extremist type. And so it seemed absolutely right that, what Dadi was carrying is truth. What Dadi was embodying is purity. And Dadi was total love, and she would make food for us and, make sure that we're okay. And so she covered this huge spectrum from this gentle, loving mother to this gigantic spiritual force, which obviously was going to go all over the world. Wow. So I had no problem with being able to see that and align myself with it and desire to be part of it. And I'm really grateful that that happened. And I remember thinking, I wish I would have enough time to be able to develop adequately spiritually. And fortunately, there is still enough time.
Wonderful. Thanks, Denise.
Thank you very much.
Now I think it's time to invite Dadi to the stage.
Thank you, Nanda. Can you join us as well? Thank you. And thank you, Denise, for sharing with us. Thank you. And I didn't have an opportunity before to introduce Neville, who is a writer and journalist and a long-time meditator. His 20 years as a medical and science correspondent for several national newspapers resulted in his first book, The Will to Be Well, The Real Alternative Medicine. And this book that he's just written, I Know How to Live and I Know How to Die, is a result of many deep conversations with Dadi Janki. He counts himself, I know, as an old friend. Dadi calls him an old friend. And when old friends get together, they have some very interesting conversations. So we look forward to that. The other person who will be joining us on stage shortly is Sister Manda, who organises and runs the Oxford Retreat Centre in Newnham Courtney in Oxfordshire. She's translated for Daddy many, many times, and she has a special gift that when you hear her translating, if you understand Hindi, you'll know how beautifully she does it. And if you don't understand Hindi, by the end, you'll think you do.
The voice of a mother and a father and a child. Would you recognize the truth? Do you feel the love that's falling from my eyes? Take just a minute, come and rest here by my side. Let me tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Only a second, it's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side. There's 100,000 angels by your side. Do you hear me talk to you? I whisper through doorways and pathways of your mind, clear like the morning dew, and fresh from my journey, cross an ocean of blue. Take just a minute, come and rest here by my side. Let me tell you your own story. Let me walk you through your lives. Only a second, it's all it takes to realize there's 100,000 angels by your side.
There's just one final introduction for me to do, and that's Dadi Janki herself. For those of you who know her, no introduction is necessary. For those of you who haven't yet met her, I can guarantee you that by the end of the evening you will know that you have met a very extraordinary person. Dadi Janki travels all over the world and she's loved and welcomed in every country she goes to. But I happen to know that she holds a special place in her heart for Leicester, and that she used to visit here and stay with and support the early families of BKs, Brahma Kumaris, who living in Leicester in the 70s. And she's continued to come here and support. And she was the one who proudly named this beautiful centre Harmony House. So our hearts are open. Leicester opens its heart and welcomes you, Dadi Janki.
Before you ask questions to Dadi, she'd like to say Om Shanti to everyone first. I would like to greet you all with Om Shanti 3 times.
पहला मैं कौन अब बोलिए ऐसे
Because the first Om Shanti signifies the self, the awareness of the
फिर मेरा
self.
कौन
And the second Om Shanti would signify the awareness or the connection with the divine.
ऐसे लाइफ में क्या करना है
And the third Om Shanti would be with the recognition of what it is that we have to do in
ये
this life.
जीने कला
And actually this in itself is the art of living.
क्योंकि परमात्मा 3 बातों की रोशनी दी है
Because God has given us light about 3 things.
पहले अपन को देख
First is that we must always look at ourselves,
देह मन को छोड़
to let go of the awareness and the consciousness of the physical, of the body.
तो मेरे से माइट लो लाइट बनो
So then I'm able to take power from God and become light.
तो जो भी कर्म होगा बहुत अच्छा
So then whatever actions I perform, they are bound to be of good quality.
ठीक है
Yes, what Daddy has said is actually the essence of what I've learned, really, over my 33 years as a student with the Brahma Kumaris. The big shift that has happened, unlike Denise, I didn't have a sense of the world being crazy. I tried to make myself a part of it, of the materialism and the excitement of newspapers and all of that. But about the middle of my career, I was feeling quite empty, as if, there wasn't enough love in my life. It was a bit dry. And the reason was that I had such a materialistic outlook. And what's happened over these years, and it has took a few decades in my case, gradually the sense of who I am shifted from the programming in my brain, how I was brought up, the way I think of myself, to a deeper sense of self, more to do with the eternal aspect of the self. And that shift has been really something, and I'm massively grateful for that. It makes an enormous difference when that shift takes place. So definitely, Om Shanti, and Om Shanti in the sense that I've an understanding that I come from a source that has everything in it that I need to put myself back on my feet. All the truth that I need is in that source. And that's what Daddy has taught me. And with a lot of patience, a lot of love, and sometimes a bit of a kick as well. That bony finger I've seen a few times. And I'm grateful for it, because this shift was not so easy to make. But I'd like to ask Daddy, this book that I've written, I must just say a word about that, because it started off, this idea, I know how to live, I know how to die. Daddy used that expression at a VIP event in America. And someone present said, that would make a good title for a book. Let's ask Neville to do it. And so the request came to me, and I tried interviewing Daddy. I couldn't get a structure. I think now, actually, this was 5 or 6 years ago, I think now that I wasn't actually dead enough to my old self to be able to do it. So I just wasn't close enough to truth to be able to do it. So I tried and couldn't do it. And then I got an illness that sort of put me under house arrest for 4 or 5 months. Shingles, you know, the illness, it can be very painful, but nothing didn't affect my head. And I just concentrated on emerging this book, and I loved it. The shingles was a huge gift. As soon as the book was written, the shingles finished. I even wondered if Dadi Janki had sent me the shingles by some sort of occult power, because it let the book get written. But it's in 3 sections, and it's called Birth, Life, and Death. Sorry, Daddy.
Show them the book.
Oh, well, it's in the bookshop downstairs.
Bookshop में है नीचे, लेकिन यहाँ फोटो है ना दादी वो किताब का है.
The cover's like this behind you, Daddy.
photo
Oh, there
है.
it is. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Here we are.
ये जो फोटो पीछे है ना आपका वो किताब के.
It's in these 3 sections covering birth, life, and death. And so I thought it would be nice to hear from Daddy some words about, you know, how what birth meant to her. And I was in the book, it's in the context of taking spiritual birth, like a rebirth. But Daddy had an extraordinary childhood anyway. She had a longing and a love for God, even in her childhood, a longing to serve, even as a child. And I wondered if Daddy could perhaps tell us a little bit about that, and then about the spiritual birth that she took when she was in her late teens, I think.
नहीं दादी इसमें प्रश्न पूछेंगे ना बीच बीच में, लेकिन 10 मिनट के बाद अभी मेडिटेशन करेंगे फिर.
ओम शांति पहले बता दिया. आज मैंने आप सबको देख ये हाल में देख पहले बड़ी खुशी है.
So I've already greeted you all with Om Shanti, and seeing all of you in this hall, I'm very happy. This is such a wonderful thing.
Global house से भी अच्छा है.
We have our international headquarters in London, which is called Global Cooperation House. This seems even better than that.
और नेविल आज मेरे से स्टेज पर बैठा है.
And Neville is here with me tonight on this stage.
डेनिस अचानक अभी मिली.
And we roped Denise into it last minute, and Daddy just met her just before coming.
ये भी बहन वंडरफुल.
And Baroness also is very wonderful.
जो दृष्टि है आप देखते हो, प्यार, शक्ति, शांति, प्यार ऐसा है.
Our eyes reveal our peace,
हम कौन
love,
किसके
and
बच्चे
power.
हैं.
And it's the eyes that reveal who it is that we belong to, whose children we are.
तो मैंने जब ज्ञान में आई, शिव बाबा की बनी, ब्रह्मा बाबा यहाँ है, फोटो नहीं है, कहाँ भी नहीं रखा, वही रखना
इसके पीछे है ना दादी.
नहीं, परंतु
So I
Brahma Baba
received
को
my spiritual understanding.
मैं बचपन से पहले जानती थी.
I belonged to God.
वो भी जवारी था, मेरा बाप भी जवारी था.
I received my understanding through Brahma Baba, and I knew him beforehand. Brahma Baba was a jeweler, and my own father was also a jeweler.
ब्रह्मा बाबा कलकत्ता में रहता था.
Brahma Baba, the founder of the Brahma Kumaris, used to live in
हम 2
Calcutta.
बहन हैं बाप के साथ कलकत्ता में बाबा के दुकान पर गए.
We were 2 sisters, and at one occasion, we went to Baba's shop in Calcutta.
इतना अच्छा प्यार से मिला.
He met us with a
और
lot of
मेरे
love.
बाप को कहा ये कहाँ रहेंगी रात को.
And because we were visiting Calcutta, he asked my father, "Where are you all going to stay
तो
tonight?"
कहा हमने गेस्ट हाउस में परवान की.
So my father told him that we've arranged for ourselves to stay at a guest house.
कहा नहीं, ये दोनों बच्चियाँ हम बाप के घर में रहेंगी.
He said, "No, both these daughters of yours are going to stay in their father's home, which is my home."
इतना प्यार.
He had so much love.
थोड़े समय के बाद मैं भी भक्ति में बहुत, जो शरीर का जन्म हुआ तो भी ऐसे कुल में हुआ जहाँ खान पान बड़ा शुद्ध.
I was born in a family in which there was a lot of purity. Our diet, our lifestyle was very pure.
हमको ज़रा भी बचपन में भी ये अभिमान नहीं था मैं कोई अच्छे बाप की बच्ची हूँ.
And even as a child, it wasn't that I had this arrogant sort of a pride that I come from a very good family.
भगवान को जानने की बहुत इच्छा थी.
I had a deep desire to know God.
तो ब्रह्मा बाबा अपने घर में जब गीता पढ़ता था, मैं भी गीता पढ़ती थी, परंतु जा कर के उनके सामने सुनती थी.
I used to study the Gita. Brahma Baba also used to study the Gita, but I used to like to go and be in front of him and study the
आखिर वो
Gita
दिन
with
आया
him.
जो हम सुबह को वॉक करने के लिए जाते थे. बाबा सामने आया, वो भी वॉक करके आ रहा था, तो मैंने देखा लाइट.
One day I was out for a walk with my father, and Brahma Baba was also out for a walk, and he was coming in our direction,
मैंने
and we
बाप
were
को
moving
कहा,
in that direction. And as I saw him, I saw this incredible form of light of Brahma Baba.
आपको कुछ अनुभव हुआ?
And I asked my own father, "Did you have some experience
कहा
through him?"
नहीं.
He said, "Nope, I didn't."
उसी घड़ी मैंने कहा ये है मेरा बाप.
And it was in that moment I had the experience of his spiritual self and the sense that this is my father, my
दिल
spiritual
में
father.
बहुत प्यास थी भगवान से मिलने के लिए.
I had this deep thirst in my heart to meet God.
उन दिनों में बाबा ने अब तन मन धन से अपने आप को ईश्वर को समर्पण कर दिया.
It was around those days that Brahma Baba had also, in a sense, come to a deeper understanding and realization and handed over his own mind, his body, his wealth to a group of
बहू
people.
बेटे सबको लाइट बाबा से दिखाई.
His daughter-in-law, his son, everybody used to see this incredible light through him.
ओम शांति पीछे से, परंतु पहले बाबा ओम सिर्फ कहता था.
We started to use this term Om Shanti later.
गीता
In the
में
beginning, Brahma Baba used to just speak of Om.
गीता में है ओम के अर्थमेटिक.
It's mentioned in the Gita how we have to stabilize ourselves in the meaning of the word Om.
और वह अब भी वंडर ऐसा है दुनिया भर में जो हमको मिलेगा अचानक कहेगा ओम शांति.
Amazing thing now is that everyone knows about Om Shanti. And so whenever I meet
translation
anyone
nahi hai.
anywhere around the world, they will greet me with Om Shanti.
आज मैं यहाँ देख रही हूँ लेस्टर में पहले अभी मैं भारत में ज़्यादा रहती हूँ
I spend more time in India these days.
तो समझो लौकिक जन्म भले अच्छा था परंतु ये जो जन्म बाबा का हुआ बाबा ने जैसे अपना बना के मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया
Of course, my physical birth was a very fortunate one, but this spiritual birth also became a very special thing because it was as if God made me belong to Him and taught me to smile.
कभी भी दुनिया में क्या है झूठ चोरी ठगी निंदा
What is there in the world these days? Lying, stealing, gossiping,
सुन
cheating.
रहे हो ना कौन है जो कभी झूठ नहीं बोलता हो कभी निंदा न करता हो
Is there anyone who could really say that they've never told a lie or they never gossip about someone else?
मेरी कोई निंदा करे तो ऐसा हो जाए मैं किसकी निंदा करूं
If someone talks about me, I don't like it and I get very stern about it. But how do I feel when I talk about someone else?
इस जीवन में जो जन्म हुआ है लौकिक जीवन का मेरे को पता नहीं है जन्म पत्री गुम हो गई
I no longer have the horoscope of my physical birth.
Can I ask you,
तो
Daddy?
एक बट तो पहली तारीख जनवरी की मैं ऐसी बीमार हुई थी मर नहीं करे जैसे नया जन्म हो गया
There was a
तो
time.
मैं अपना जन्मदिन पहली तारीख 31 तारीख रात को पहली तारीख
There was a time when I was very unwell, and it was the night of the 31st of December and early morning of the 1st of January.
Yeah.
So it was then that I had a second birth, if you like, another birth, because suddenly after some revelation, I became well after that, and so I consider 1st of January to be my birthday.
So Daddy actually has had very special circumstances, 100 years, a century of service actually. Very special circumstances she was born into, some tough things along the way, but always, meeting someone like Brahma Baba and getting her inspiration there. But I'd just like to ask Daddy, as we conclude this section, is it easier for people today, do you think, because of the sense that things are running out of control, our minds are running out of control, there's a lot of conflict in the world, things move faster and faster, there's a lot of stress. Is that going to help people to realize that they need spirituality? Because there is a growth of understanding about the need to take charge of the mind. There's something of a revival of understanding of the role of religion. What do you think, Daddy? So that people generally can get a new birth.
मनुष्य आत्मा है मनुष्य आत्मा को पाप क्या है पुण्य क्या है झूठ क्या है सच क्या है राइट क्या है रॉन्ग क्या है
Actually, as human souls, we all know what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, what is sin, what is charity. We all know it.
जानता है पर जैसा अन्न वैसा मन जैसा संग वैसा रंग
But actually, as is our food, so is the state of our mind. As is the company that we keep, so is the color of that company on our life.
परसों इसकी लिस्ट ने 6 महीना बैठ के मेरे लिए सोचे कितनी अच्छी बात है ये।
And the other day before yesterday, Dadi met Liz Hodgkinson, Neville's ex-wife, and she's been writing a book about Dadi, in fact, and she was telling Dadi that for the last 6 months she's done nothing but think about Dadi.
Yes, it's given her a big lift.
क्योंकि
She's enjoyed it.
मनुष्य आत्मा को थोड़ा एकांत में रहना, एकाग्रता की शक्ति से अंतर्मुखी हो करके अपन को देखे।
Actually, what as human beings we have to do is that we have to spend time in solitude. We have to teach ourselves to be concentrated, and we have to learn to work effectively with ourselves with that introspection.
ये बड़ी स्टडी करने का भाग्य मिलता है।
And actually, this is spiritual study, and this is great fortune to be able to practice this spiritual study.
परमात्मा कौन है, कैसा है, जानती हूँ।
I know who is God, what is He like,
कहाँ रहता है
where He lives,
और क्या करता है।
and what He does.
करण करावन हार है, ज्ञान का सागर है, शांति का सागर है, प्रेम का सागर।
God is known as the one who Himself works and works through others. He's the ocean of peace, ocean of love.
उसको जानने से, पहचानने से ये तीसरी आँख खुल जाती है।
When you know Him, when you recognize Him, then your third eye opens up.
और क्या होता है, त्रिनेत्री त्रिकालदर्शी।
And what happens as a result of that is that when we have the
समय
third
का
eye,
ज्ञान देता है।
we are also able to understand the knowledge of the three aspects of time: the past, the present, and the future.
प्रैक्टिकल बताती हूँ, तन मन धन समर्पण।
And this is a very practical thing that I'm telling you.
यानी
Then
बाबा ने
I'm able to surrender or hand over my mind, my body, my wealth through that spiritual awakening to God.
मैं आज यहाँ आते 74 में मैं आई थी लंदन आई थी 74, पर लेस्टर में भी आई थी। लेस्टर में भी इतना छोटा सा घर था लंदन में। ये किसकी है, कमाल है। जो
I came to London in 1974, and in fact it was 74 that I came to Leicester too. And at that time, the work of the Brahma Kumaris was happening from a very, very tiny house. But what we have now, it's a wonder.
तो समय ऐसा है, मनुष्य को जिस घड़ी वैराग आता है उस घड़ी त्याग कर देता है।
It really is a question of time too, because once one develops this disinterest and is able to let go of everything, that's when the
अंदर ही
awakening
अंदर चेंज
happens.
आ जाती है।
This transformation happens inside
झूठ चोरी
automatically.
ठगी निंदा अभी नहीं
Then,
होगी।
then you're no longer going to engage yourself in lying, cheating, deceiving, or gossiping, or stealing.
जल्दी समझ, क्यों जानते हैं दुनिया में दुख को होता है।
Because we all know that there is a lot of suffering in the world.
अच्छे कर्म करने से भगवान की शक्ति मिलती।
When we perform good actions, elevated actions, we're able to take power from God.
सच्ची दिल से साहिब राजी है हमारे ऊपर।
When I have a true heart, an honest heart, the Lord is pleased with me.
बहुत मदद है उसकी।
There's a lot of help that comes from that one.
उसकी मदद से दिल कहता है जो भगवान मुझे दिया है इनको मिले।
It's with God's help that we're able to say that what I have received from God, I want to be able to share that with others too.
ये अंदर की भावना।
This is the inner feeling that one has.
That's a lovely point at which to take a little pause for reflection, before we move on to the next section.
तो अभी मेडिटेशन करते हैं, अभी बताया 2 मिनट मेडिटेशन करते हैं.
2 मिनट.
हाँ 4 मिनट, थोड़ा कमेंट्री होगी.
Let us sit for a few moments, reflecting on what we have heard. From the instant of our birth, we are trying to make sense of the world, to understand where we fit into it and what gives meaning to each day. The best way to consider these profound, heartfelt questions is to go within, to sit quietly and explore this internal cave of silence. Here we discover the truth. I am not merely a human being, a physical body who has a soul, but I am a soul residing for a lifetime in this body. Not a human being in search of a spiritual experience. I am truly a spiritual being, enjoying a brief and interesting human experience. When we learn who we are, beings of light, we know we cannot be extinguished by circumstances or time or death itself. For the next few moments, let us sit together in silence and experience our inner timeless space.
Over the years, Daddy has, you've already heard something of this, had a number of major health challenges.
दादी के जीवन में तबीयत
And yet,
बहुत खराब रही है.
here she is in her 100th year, still going strong, jetting around the world. She's, after this trip to the UK, she's off to America in a few days. So definitely there's something in the conventional sense that she knows how to live. There's something that is in this person that answers that question. But Daddy, in a conventional sense, you haven't lived like most people would think of living, like bringing up a family, creating a home, having a job and a career, things like that, going to the cinema, dinner parties. You haven't done these things. So what is the authority that allows you to say, I know how to live? What has given you your joy and your strength?
कौन सी शक्ति है सो आप जो आपसे बुलाती हैं ये कि आपको पता है आप कैसे जीना चाहिए आपको
मेरे को टेलीफोन नहीं आता
I don't even know how to dial a telephone number.
हर एक के हाथ में क्या है
What does everybody have in their hand? A
बच्चे
telephone.
छोटे वगैरह
Young children or older
कैमरा
people,
भी हाथ में होंगे
they have a camera in their hand
वो भी टेलीफोन भी हाथ में
and a telephone.
मुझे
I don't have.
मुझे एक मैजिस्ट्रेट था कलकत्ता में वो रिटायर हुआ था तो रिटायर हुआ था वापस लिया था तो अपने वाइफ को सुबह को 6 से शाम को 6 तक नहीं देखता था तो मुझे कहा तुम मसूरी में चलो मैं हर गर्मी के टाइम में मसूरी में जाता हूँ पर तो वाइफ को छोड़ के नहीं जा सकता हूँ तुम चलो तुम मेरे वाइफ के साथ रहो और मैं अलग रहूँगा फिर मैंने ये हाँ किया तो उसकी वाइफ मेरे साथ रहती कमरा दूसरा फिर क्या हुआ उसे कन कन में भगवान उसका सिनेमा आई थी कहा ये तुम देखने चलो फिर अच्छा भाषण करेंगे सुनो सुनो मैंने कहा मैं सिनेमा के दरवाजे पर जाएंगी ना तो मेरा भाषण कोई नहीं सुनेगा
So Dadi met a magistrate in Calcutta and he didn't spend the day with his wife. But he said to Dadi, why don't you come with us to Mussoorie? Mussoorie is like a hill station and people go there in the summer days. And he said, well, you can spend the day with my wife and be with us there. So Dadi agreed. And one day he says, there is a film that's come out. And the film is something about God is in every particle. And he said, well, let's go see this movie. And then afterwards we can go and you can give a lecture. And Daddy said, no way. If I go to watch a movie and then go give a lecture, nobody's going to listen to my lecture. So he said, what, should I throw away the tickets? You're not going to come? Cinema is a mother of sin. Sin, ma means mother in Hindi. So cinema, the mother of sin. I don't even read newspapers. There was a sister that used to live with me and she had the habit of reading newspaper a lot. She said, Daddy, I like reading newspapers. So I used to watch her reading that newspaper and I'd be seeing what she was looking at was which movie is on in which cinema.
हमारा कलकत्ता का सेंटर ऐसे खुला किसी घर में गई तो बच्चे रो रहे थे माँ बाप चले जाते हैं सिनेमा में घूमने फिरने बच्चे घर में रो रहे हैं.
Parents go to the cinema and the children are left at home crying.
मतलब बात का जीना है तो कैसे. बड़ा डिवाइन यानी ईश्वरी जैसी शक्ति ऐसे कर्म कराती
The point being
जो
that
सबको प्रेरणा मिले.
if you want to live, the way to live is with divinity, with the power of God
जैसे आज का
in such a
मुझे
way
पता नहीं था इतना संगठन अच्छा.
that everyone is inspired and learns to perform good actions. Today, I didn't know that there was going to
मैं
be
तो
such a big
कहती हूँ रोज
gathering.
यहाँ ऐसी सभा लगनी चाहिए.
I think there should be a gathering like this here every day,
नहीं तो सप्ताह में एक बार तो हो.
at least once a week, otherwise, if not every day.
हाल छोटा पड़ जाए.
This hall should become too small.
क्यों. एक तो अच्छे कर्म श्रेष्ठ अच्छे बना बहुत श्रेष्ठ कर्म जो मैं करेंगी तो आज मेरी लाइफ आप देख रहे हो.
Our actions should be elevated. And elevated means very elevated. It's really on the basis of that that I am today and you see my
भाई
life as you
मेरे
do.
100 साल नहीं उम्र हुई है 99 है.
Actually, my brother, get this right, it's 99 years,
एक
not
बरस
100.
परंतु अगर इसमें 3 बातें हैं जिस कारण मैं जीती हूँ.
Actually, there are 3 things that it's because of those that I'm still alive.
कहीं अभी भी शरीर को कैसे भगवान चला रहा है वो जाने. और बहन मेरी साथ जो रहती है
Actually, God is the one who makes me move today and makes my body function today. And the sister who
कैसे
lives
चला?
with me, Hansa, who looks after Daddy,
उसको
takes
मुझे
care of
दवा
Daddy.
क्या लेनी है गोली क्या मुझे पता नहीं है.
She knows what to give me, what tablets I need to take. I don't know anything about that.
मेरा काम है अमृत ले उठना.
My job simply is to wake up early in the morning and
भले
meditate.
सारी रात नींद न भी आवे.
Even if I haven't slept all night, I wake up at 4
तो
o'clock
4
in the
बजे
morning.
का नियम है.
But 4 o'clock meditation is my discipline.
क्यों. सब जैसा कर्म मैं करेंगी मुझे देख जो और करेंगे.
Because whatever actions I perform, seeing me, others will do the same.
मैंने कहा किसी कोई कहते हैं मिलते हैं ना आशीर्वाद करो.
When I meet some people, they say to me, give me blessings.
मैं कहती हूँ आशीर्वाद मांगी नहीं जाती.
And I say, you can't ask for blessings.
मन वाणी कर्म ऐसा हो जो किसी दिल से दुआएं निकले.
My mind, my words, and my actions should be such that blessings emerge from people's hearts for me automatically.
भूल से भी ऐसा न बोले जो किसको दुख होवे.
Even by mistake, I shouldn't speak in the way that causes sorrow to someone.
न दुख देना न लेना.
So don't give sorrow to others and don't take sorrow from
ये है
others.
सच्ची तपस्या.
This is what it really means to do deep,
Automatic.
intense meditation. This is the
सबकी
natural
आशीर्वाद है.
outcome of that.
पर मुझे ऐसा बनना है ये दृढ़ता चाहिए.
But you need the determination that this is what you have to become.
दृढ़ता ऐसे है पर जब इसका साथ मिलता है.
But when I have determination, and when I have God with me, then there is power to do this.
So Daddy has said that the regular discipline that she has of connecting to the divine gives her the strength that in her actions, in her words, and all the other things that she does during the day, there's the strength to make that very positive and not to cause sorrow, no matter what kind of things come at her. And as the head of a global organization, plenty of things happen. So that's really the essence. Can we have for now another little break? I think the idea is we take another short meditative break to contemplate on that essence-full description of Daddy's living.
A few moments to reflect on these wise and clear thoughts. They echo and resonate with that quiet space inside us. The mysterious connection between birth and life and death. Spiritual birth, a life of meaning and purpose, and dying to old, wasteful ways. We can see in stark contrast the shallow distractions of today's world and a life of higher thoughts and worthwhile actions. For a few moments of silence together, let us reflect. What can I do to make these changes in myself? Then I can change my world and the world around me. Hold these thoughts. Hold this silence.
So finally, Daddy, what lies behind your challenging statement, I know how to die?
Last है जीते जी हम मरे हुए हैं कोई
Actually,
दे के संबंधी
with a spiritual
से लगाव
consciousness,
झुकाव टकराव तीनों से फ्री है
with a spiritual consciousness, it's as if we are alive, but in a sense we are dead to this world. And what that really means is that there is no attachments, no poles, and no one that really I'm subservient to.
और ये मेरी बचपन से लेकर के यानी ज्ञान के बचपन मैं मरूं तो कैसे मरूं
This is an awareness that I've had ever since my spiritual birth, that when I die, how must my death be?
मैंने आंखों से देखा है किसको मोह होता है तो अंत में वो पति याद आता है या बच्चा याद आता है मर रहे हैं
I've seen this actually with my own eyes when somebody's dying and when they have such severe attachment to someone, the only
लोभ
thing
होता
they
है,
remember is
पैसा
that
बैंक
person.
वगैरह याद आता है
When there is greed, then at their moment of death, all they can think of is money and the money in their
एक
bank.
बहन थी जो मैंने प्रैक्टिकल देखा बहुत अच्छी थी वैसे पर उसको खाना अच्छा चाहिए
I saw a woman, very good she was, but again, she liked her food very much.
नहीं तो थोड़ा खाना नाराज हो जाते
And if she didn't get her food the way she wanted it, she'd get upset.
उसने सारी छोड़ा खाना ऐसे
When she died with the thoughts of food. With her tongue, as Dadi was expressing the desire for taste
कईयों
of
को मैं
food.
शरीर छोड़ने के समय मैं जाती हूँ उनको मदद करने के लिए तो कोई याद ना आवे
Many, when they're about to die, they have these profound thoughts of what they're attached to, and I often go to see these people who are about to be dying, so that they don't remember anything else except God.
कभी मेरे हाथ में पैसे का पर्स नहीं देखा हूँ
I never carry a purse with money in my hand
कभी कपड़ा भिन्न भिन्न पहनना
to wear different varieties of clothes,
हमारे
fashionable
कब्र
clothes.
को
I
देखो
don't
कब्र
do
कैसा
that.
है
You can go and have a look in my wardrobe.
बेडरूम को देखो
Go and see my bedroom.
ना, ना। एक कपड़ों में बुद्धि हो
If your intellect is caught
इतना
up
बुद्धि
in
जाती है
in
बालों में
clothes.
पहले मैंने जो जैसे डिनी जैसी ब्रह्मा कुमारियाँ जो बनी पहले बाल बनाया
Also hair, style. And when people like Denise came
Khana.
right at the beginning, I used to teach them how to do their hair like this, straight.
खाना कैसे पकाना है कैसे खाना है कैसे खिलाना है
How you should prepare food for yourself, how you should eat the food, how you should serve others the food. I taught all these things.
तो अंत मते अच्छी होंगी मुझे गारंटी है
So that I know I have the guarantee that my final moments are going to be good moments.
दूसरी बात मैं अपन को सावधान रखती हूँ
Another thing for me is that I keep myself very cautious about this.
क्योंकि मुझे दर्द यहाँ पड़ता है शरीर का ऐसा जो नींद करने नहीं देता है
Sometimes I have a pain in my chest which doesn't allow me to sleep.
तो मेरा चिंतन ऐसा हो शरीर छूटे ना
But even so, when my thinking in that moment should be
plan.
such that if it's time for the soul to leave the body, it can go
पर
just
तो
like that.
छूटता नहीं है अभी
But the thing
भगवान को
is,
मैं कहती हूँ
but the thing is that the soul doesn't leave the body yet. I tell God, take me.
भगवान को कहती हूँ अभी तक ऐसे शरीर को क्यों रखा है
I ask him, why have you still kept me in this body
तो
like
मुझे
this?
कहता है तुम फॉलो फादर करने में अच्छी हो
He
तो
says,
तेरे को फॉलो करने में जो फॉलो वाला सुबह को पढ़ के सुनाया ना
so he says, you're very good in following the Father. And so others seeing you, others can learn to follow too.
तो वो सत्य के ऊपर चल रहा है सच्चाई में कभी भी कमी ना हो
We have to follow the path of truth, and I should never lack in that.
न कोई मेरे से नाराज हो न मैं किसी नाराज
I must never be upset with anybody, and no one should be upset with me.
खुश रहना क्यों नहीं भाग्य है हमारा, भगवान मेरा साथी है.
I should stay happy. Why should I not stay happy? It's my fortune that God Himself is with me.
और ड्रामा में का जो ज्ञान है, हर एक का पाठ है, हर एक में अच्छी अच्छी विशेषता है.
We understand this world as a play, and in this play, everyone is playing their own unique part, their unique role, and each one has their own speciality.
ये अंदर की स्मृति, वृत्ति, दृष्टि में सारी छूटे, बाकी कोई बात नहीं.
It's in this awareness in this inner awareness, attitude, and vision that I want this soul to leave the body, nothing else.
मैं बीती बात असुर याद नहीं आती.
I don't remember anything that has passed.
बीती को चितो नहीं, आगे की रखो ना आशा.
Don't think about that which is past, and don't have false hopes for the future.
ये होना चाहिए.
This is what I should be
जो बीती
thinking. Whatever's happened is past. It's
जो
finished.
अभी हो रहा है सो अच्छा होए.
And what is happening now in this moment should be good, should be positive.
ज़रूर सदाई मरने के लिए तैयार है, पर ऐसा जो मरूं सारे विश्व को पता चल जाए.
One should always be ready to die any moment. But I should die in such a way that everyone learns about what it means to die.
एक बात है, बाबा भी कहते हैं और भी कहते हैं, सारे विश्व को संदेश देना है, पर मैं कहती हूँ संदेश सिर्फ नहीं देना है, इनको ऐसा बताना है सारे विश्व को, जो आजू जी को कहा, ऐसा बताना है इस विश्व को, जो सभी को जीना है तो कैसे, मरना है तो कैसे.
So we have to give the message of God to everyone. We have this awareness, but I don't think that's enough. Actually, the message really has to be where we inspire people to know how to live and how to die.
आजकल अच्छी अच्छी आत्माओं को किसके स्वभाव को अनुसार चलना ये डिफिकल्ट.
Nowadays, many good people find it difficult to get on with other people, knowing the other person's tendencies.
अपना स्वभाव ही ऐसा नाजुक है, थोड़ा भी सहन शक्ति नहीं.
Their own nature is so delicate and so sensitive, they're not able to tolerate anything.
सहन शक्ति, सम्मानने की शक्ति, समेटने की शक्ति.
And for this, you require the power to tolerate, the power to accommodate, the power to merge.
ऐसी सहन शक्ति जो सदाई सब अच्छा. कोई पूछे मेरा बाबा मेरे से खुश क्यों है, जिस किसी ने कहा हम पंजाब अमृतसर के हैं, अमृतसर से सर्विस शुरू हुई है 60 साल पहले. तभी भी बाबा कितने अच्छे सेवा हैं, सारे पंजाब की हुई.
Service in Punjab started 60 years ago, and so many good things have happened since then. And I was part of that service, and I feel that God has been pleased with me with that service.
तुम पढ़े मैं पढ़. ये जितना होवे
No, she's going to read it now. We don't have.
मैं
We didn't
कहीं.
bring.
To follow means to love and to show their love in a way that is real and practical, to be safe, to become free. ठीक है? To know what is the right thing to do at every moment, to have a solution for every situation. Solution for every situation. To stay in God's company and share the color of that company with others. To trust and to receive unlimited fruit of that trust. To be an honest spiritual pilgrim, to be a master and a server. Easier to be master and server. To take one more step towards become an angel. कौन angel बनने चाहता है?
So who wants to be an angel?
कितना easy है. To take
So
one more
easy.
step
It's so easy.
towards become an angel. To go ahead and lead the way for others to take away, to overtake you. Overtake you. समझा? ये भाई सब को मिले.
Sorry, but I don't think we brought enough to give you all a copy of this, although Daddy wants you to
Okay.
have them.
Finish?
Yes, thank you, Daddy. Yeah.
भी तुम बताओ तुम कौन हो? क्या
The,
Meditation करेंगे Daddy.
there's a-
meditation
पीछे
करेंगे.
लास्ट है ना?
हाँ बस ये finish अभी.
Yes, we're going to finish with
meditation
a
करेंगे.
song
बस 2 मिनट बता.
by Bliss, but I've got
24 घंटे में
one
क्या?
quote from
कुछ कहते हैं.
from Daddy, in which
Daddy
she
ने
says,
कहा था,
connected to what
Daddy
she's just
कहती
been
हैं,
saying, but summarizing it in a way, that if our hands are always giving, always bestowing,
देने वाले हैं,
joy will be ours in death as well as in life.
Yeah.
जीते समय और मरते
And I
समय
think that's a
खुशी
really
हमारे साथ
wonderful,
रहेगी.
wonderful
अगर हम
way to
हमेशा देते
close the
हैं,
program.
देने
And
वाले
before
हैं, दाता हैं,
the song, and before
खुशी
Davina
हमारे से
comes
जीवन
to
में रहेंगी,
make her
जीते
announcements
समय
and
भी रहेंगी,
thanks, I'd like to
मरते
give
समय भी
my
रहेंगी.
personal thanks
तो अभी
to all of you for
मैं
being
आप
here and
सबको
giving me the
personal
opportunity of
thanks
sitting
देता
beside this wonderful soul.
हूँ.
It's such a
Daddy के
pleasure.
बाजू में बैठने
Daddy is
का मौका
amazing.
मेरे को मिला.
So thank you very much.
श्रेष्ठ आत्मा है, Daddy amazing
And
है.
I think now there's
मेरे को
a song from Bliss.
सुनो मुझे बात थोड़ा रह गया.
one more thing left, a little bit left.
क्योंकि तन मन धन इस तन में बैठे हो, मन ऐसा हो, मन में नाम बाबा.
Whilst
ईश्वर
living
मिलन.
in this body, my mind should be connected to God.
और धन
Some of you may be aware of this expression, man mana bhav,
ईश्वरी
is
सेवा
mentioned
में
in
हो.
the Gita, that turn your mind to me. My body should be engaged in God's service.
मरने समय तन में बुद्धि न जावे, मन धन में न जावे.
At the time of death, my intellect shouldn't be drawn to the body and it shouldn't be drawn to
इसलिए
wealth.
भगवान ने मुझे सैंपल बनाया है.
God has made me a sample.
सदा ही धन आएगा, हाथ में नहीं रहेंगे.
The wealth will always come for
सेवा में.
service. I never need to take it in my own hands. It
मैंने
comes
आज
for
जहाँ
service.
पूछा ये मकान का कितना खर्चा हुआ,
I
कैसे
asked,
आया.
I asked them today what it cost to prepare this place.
सेवा अर्थ है.
It's for service.
अभी यहाँ सेवा करने वालों को का भाग्य है
Those
जो
who, do,
मनवानी कर्म से सेवा करें।
those who do service here, it's their fortune that they do service with their mind, their body, and their wealth.
मन से वाणी से कर्म से।
So we do service with our mind, our body, and our
मैं
wealth.
भारत में बताती हूँ, वहाँ तो नौकर सफाई करते हैं, कपड़ा धोते हैं। यहाँ तो हमारे बहन भाई खुद ही कपड़ा धोते हैं, यहाँ बर्तन मांजते हैं।
In India, it's still possible to hire labor,
ये
and so
GRC में क्या?
people have cooks and cleaners and everything else. Whereas here in the center, we don't have any laborers that come and do any
तो
work.
मनवानी कर्म सेवा में है ना, तो मनो शांत, तनो शीतल, ऐसी दुनिया बनानी है।
Everything happens by people who live here, whether it's the cooking or the cleaning. When our mind, our body, and our wealth is
Abhi-
engaged in service, then our mind is able to be silent, be peaceful, and we're able to use our body in a worthwhile way.
तो सारी लाइफ तन मन धन मनवानी कर्म अब भी है, जो मेरा श्वास चलता है ना ये,
So I've spent my whole life using my mind, my
Sankala.
body, my wealth, my
Samay.
thoughts, my words and
Safala.
actions in a worthwhile way, so that now each breath I take, each breath is useful.
कल देखा जाएगा, अभी तो पड़ा।
Tomorrow we'll see what happens, but
Acha
at least
hoga.
today everything I have is being used in a
Guarantee
worthwhile
hai.
way. I know that the future will also be good. I have the guarantee that it will be.
देखा जाएगा, नहीं गारंटी अच्छा होगा।
It's not that, oh, we'll see what happens, but no, the guarantee that it will be well.
ओके, कुछ कहना है?
नहीं बस.
बस
I feel it now. It's all around me. A silent voice I can't deny. A mother's arms, how they surround me. They sing the beauty of my life.
It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love.
I close my eyes. It takes me over. A memory deep down in my soul. And safe from harm, to be beside you. A light will shine upon the world.
It will last forever.
cause me pain. It will last forever. It will never fade away. Never cause me pain. This love, this love, this love. This love, this love, this
Well, wasn't that a beautiful experience? Thank you, Neville, for asking the questions. Thank you, Manda, for translating. And most of all, thank you, Dadi Janki. And although it's time to say goodbye, it's not quite, because if you want to come back and hear about some more of the programs, we have some leaflets. There are going to be lots of programs that to invite yourself back to, that we'd like to invite you to. There's International Environment Day on the 6th of June, all Saturday, and there's an all Saturday program on positive thinking, and also a program on Raj Yoga on Saturday the 20th of June. So if you look at this pink leaflet, there are lots of copies of that downstairs. You can take one with you, and also a very useful What's On, which tells you all the forthcoming programs, and those are downstairs in reception for you. As well as that, I just need to let you know, you don't need to say goodbye to Neville, because he'll be downstairs in the bookshop, hopefully signing copies of his book, I Know How to Live, I Know How to Die, on behalf of Daddy, of course. So that I'm sure that will add value to your purchase, should you choose to do so. And lots of other treasures in the bookstall as well. And also, not entirely time to say goodbye to Dadi, because she would like to give... Okay, lovely. Another final gift from Dadi. She would like you to have, on her behalf and on behalf of the of Harmony House, to give you a parting gift of a toli, a little sweet, and a blessing as well. And the ushers will direct you. They'll come down and they'll tell you to come in row by row, so it can be all nice and tidy and peaceful, and we can maintain this beautiful atmosphere. So thank you all very much for coming. It's been a great pleasure to see you all, and I hope you've enjoyed the evening with Dadi Janki. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Come into the light, why don't you come into the light?